Yes, people. It's your boy Shazad and Shazad.
What's happening?
And we're here on the finished article. First time we've done a podcast from the same room right here on Fergie Time. It is a bit late. We've been really busy doing other things, but we've decided we're jumping on. We're doing this one.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. So as always, we are live on YouTube for this one. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. And please follow us over on Twitch. The official Facebook and Twitter for the channel are at the bottom. I can't bring both of our personal ones up because we're on the same screen. So you can get them on other videos. I'll leave them in the description below. Yeah, we are here to cover the Manchester United versus Southampton game
today,
which is, well, basically in about 12 hours from now. Yeah, it's about 2:30 now, just after 2:30. So yeah, it's 2:30 kickoff. Am I right?
Yeah, 2:30 kickoff at Southampton Stadium.
Yeah, Stadium of Light. No, that's not. That's not theirs. That's Sunderland, isn't it? What's the stadium called?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. That's the one. So St. Mary's is hosting Man United versus Southampton. So
let's do this.
Let's do it. So from, obviously, last time we've been on Fergie Time, Cavani has been back in training this week. So he could be selected for this over Mason Greenwood. I'm not sure if he will be.
I think Cavani will start on the bench.
Yeah.
Because he's,
I don't think he's had enough training. And fitness level, his fitness level won't be as good as the other people that have been training from the start of pre-season.
I think if if I know Oli and how he's going to do it, I think he's going to keep it consistent with the lineup that he had the last game. Hopefully, bringing Sancho on from the start might be the only thing that means.
Yeah,
about last time.
The only thing I didn't like about the last game, he started with Daniel James, didn't
he? Yeah, I think,
and that's what I have a problem with. He likes Daniel James because of his attitude and his willingness to always try and better himself, which I'm not going to fault him for because it's a great quality to have in a footballer. But Daniel James lacks the finishing touch. He can't finish to save his life. He's got the pace, he's got the heart, he's got everything else. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't have that killer instinct in front of goal to keep scoring goals, and I think that's what's going to keep him from developing into a good player.
I don't know if you saw the funny meme the other day, the three-headed dragon. So you had Bruno, you had Pogba, and then you had Daniel James looking a bit funny, and that's kind of the running joke that he's the odd man out in what is an already powerful side. I think replace him with Sancho, and I think you've more than made up. Daniel James for me, he's workmanlike, but as they say at United, he's not when you look at him, you don't look at him as something that I need to be worried about him.
Yeah, exactly. With Daniel James, like I said, he's got the pace. He can get past defenders. His first touch isn't too bad. Sometimes he doesn't make the right decision. And what I mean is when he's running forward, he can pass the ball, but he won't. He'll take it further himself and then lose the ball.
See, what he needs to do is, if Ali's going to play him, what he needs to do is utilize his pace and then bring others into it and say, look, I'm going to make the run, pass it, and then he draws all the players to him, and then that opens up the space for a Bruno, or a Sancho, or a Pogba to take the opportunity.
Exactly, bro. And that's what United need to do. They need to start thinking more tactical. They need to start thinking more logically. Yes, Daniel James, he's got strengths. Use his strengths.
Yeah.
Tell him to work on his weaknesses. But whilst he's doing that, to use his strengths to bring other people into the game and get.
Let me add something else. And so, for me, Daniel James is a brilliant squad player because in what is going to be a long season, 60+ games, I would feel like there are certain games like your Burnleys, your Watfords that he will benefit from playing in. But when you're talking about world-class championship sides, for me, he's not the first name on the team sheet. So for
No,
me,
exactly.
squad player, bench player, yes. If you have to start him, League Cup, maybe in a FA Cup. Hell, you know what? Play him against Arsenal, because let's be honest, anybody can beat Arsenal these days.
Oh man, I was waiting for the Arsenal slander to come straight in.
So you're listening.
I was waiting for the Arsenal slander, bro.
So,
this guy, man, he just hates Arsenal, bro.
No, we love to see it. We love to see it.
He just hates Arsenal.
You know what? So you can have James, mate.
Yeah, just send him there. He'll do well for you, bro. He'll bring the pace and he'll help you score some goals, innit?
Yeah.
Just get me.
God knows.
So from the last game, obviously, there's a lot of things that we need to see in this game against Southampton, and one of those is Paul Pogba doing what he did in the last game. This season he needs to be more consistent.
Yeah. So for me, if he stays injury free, and what I mean injury free, what Ollie needs to do this time, and it's a learning curve from last season. Your main stars do not need to play 60+ games. What you need to say is, against your Burnleys, maybe have one of them playing, or
rotate them.
Rotate them, because let's be honest, your Man United, you should be good enough to go and do what Man City to Norwich today. As much as we hate talking about, we might as well bring up a good example.
Yeah, might as well.
That's what they need to do, and tomorrow is a chance for them to make a statement. By the way, Brighton are currently second. So if there's no bigger incentive than Brighton being second right now, I don't know what else is a bigger incentive.
Come on, Arsenal. Let's talk about that. Brighton are second. Where are Arsenal?
Where are
Arsenal, bro? You check. Your phone's over there, bro. Check.
You know what?
But whilst he goes to check where Arsenal are on the table, Pogba needs to be more consistent this season. And you're right, he needs to stay injury free to do that. And the talk is behind Pogba is that there was never a doubt that he was staying at United. He wants to stay at United. There's never been a doubt that he wanted to leave. He's never said it personally himself, but his agent has, over the past couple of years, said that he wants to leave. But that's not Pogba's words. That's just his agent maybe trying to get him more money in a new contract with United, which United need to get done before Christmas. Like I said before, don't give him the opportunity to speak to the PSGs, to the Barcelonas or the Real Madrid teams. Don't give him that chance. Secure his signature by the end of this year. Otherwise, there's a potential that we could lose him for free at the end of next summer.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Pogba, last game, absolutely brilliant. Great to see him performing. I think that was just as a result of him just playing his natural game. But then that goes hand in hand with the fact that a fully fit Pogba can do what he did the other day. He set up 4 assists. I mean, well, I'm surprised he didn't get the 5th.
Yeah,
that was probably the only surprise that.
Lindelof had to get one, didn't he? You know what I mean? Somehow.
I mean, Lindelof, that pass for Lindelof.
That was a sweet pass, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
That was a Swedish masterstroke. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Even Ibrahimovic was purring at that one. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, definitely. He would have been loving that one. But besides Pogba, obviously, there's other things that we need to see in this game against Southampton. And the other one, what is the key really from the first game against Leeds, is our boy Bruno. Can he continue his form from the last game in this game? I'm going to let you go ahead and answer that first, bro.
And yes, so he is the best midfielder in the Premier League right now, barring Kevin De Bruyne, who's decided.
I don't rate Kevin De Bruyne at all. He's a good player, but he's not as good as Bruno.
The only thing good coming out of Belgium is Belgian chocolate.
No, it's Belgian waffles, bro. Let's be honest. I'm joking, man. I don't even eat them.
No, that's good. But yes, anyway, Bruno on form against Leeds. And you know what? I think we'll see more of the same tomorrow, because he's got a point to prove. He had a disappointing Euros. And this, I think, is the season where he's going to literally take the side forward and drive everyone. In fact, you know what? I would say he's actually our natural captain on the pitch. He doesn't have the armband, but you can see the way he thinks, the way he talks, the way he his vision is second to none.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. 100%. You're right. I think with Bruno, he is quite consistent. And last season, we talked about it before, that United relied on him heavily throughout the season. And even Solskjaer admitted it. He relied on him heavily. And Bruno played literally near every game for United where he didn't need to play some of them, but because they didn't have other players that can do what he does consistently, he had to play them games that, maybe he could have rested.
In fact,
I think this season, because of the depth now that we have, maybe he can be rested for some games where he doesn't really need to be featured.
In fact, you know what? I heard that Ollie basically said there were multiple times last season where he wanted to rest Bruno, but Bruno, being the typical professional he is, was like, "Nah, I want to play every single minute," and dedication to the guy. But this kind of highlights the problem that it's a team game and everybody needs to play their part.
No, that's true, definitely. Bruno said, "If I'm not injured, I will always be up for selection. I won't ask for a break. If the manager gives me a break or tells me I'm being rested or I'm on the bench, I'll accept it and I'll understand why." And the thing I like about Bruno is that he wants to play every single game. He wants to be on the pitch for 90 minutes every game. And as a footballer, that's what you want to, as football fans, you want to see that from players in your team. You want to see players that want to represent your team to the highest standard, like him and other players do as well. And it'll be good to see how Bruno's going to do this season, because there's talks of him. At the moment, he's negotiating a new deal with United to extend his stay at United. I mean, there's no doubt that he wants to stay. He wants to continue being at United. And I think at the moment, they're still negotiating his new salary going forward.
I'm not really worried about whether he does not, because for me, he's shown the world that he wants to win. And these are the perfect players to do it. And you know what? I think he will convince Pogba that, look, stay with me. Stay. These two are like chalk and cheese. They just go hand in hand. I mean,
Hold on, what did you say? Chalk and what?
Chalk and cheese.
What are you even talking about, lad?
It's an expression, don't worry. Anyway, by the way, let me add two other players to that. You've now got Sancho on the right hand side, and you've got one other topic that we forgot to add is Varane. So Varane,
we'll come back. We'll come on to Varane in a bit.
Yeah.
We'll come on to Varane once we finish talking about Bruno and Pogba. Lad. Don't you worry. I haven't forgotten about our new boy. Don't you worry, bro. Don't you worry about our new boy. But just finishing on what we were talking about Bruno. Like you said, I think he's the key in keeping Pogba.
Yeah.
So if once Bruno signs his deal, I think Pogba will see, yes, United are committed to the project by keeping Bruno, by bringing in Sancho, by bringing in Varane. And I think that will keep Pogba at United. I want to see Pogba shine at United. I would not like him to go to PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, wherever he's going to go and shine there, because then people are going to say, people are going to turn around and say it was United that ruined him whilst he was there. But it's not. He had a bad season last season, and that's that's not down to him. That's down to his injuries and his fitness.
One thing I will say is that one thing that has been unfairly aimed at Pogba is, and this is the same with most majority of footballers these days, is their price tag. So what happens is you pay 90 million for a Pogba, and this is where most fans will relate to what we're talking about. 99% of the time, they will produce brilliant performances, but you do get the fact that if someone's been injured, they're not going to click form straight away. So you have to be realistic and understand that Pogba has an injury record that needs to be managed, and this is why you need to protect them in games where you don't need to play them.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Yeah, you're right, man. Pogba needs to be protected because he has had few injuries, and you need to keep him injury free. You need to keep him fresh. Maybe don't play him against the Brentfords or the Watfords or the Norwiches of the league.
Yeah,
like keep him fresh for the bigger games like Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea. I would say Tottenham, but I don't think they're a top 6 team. Leicester. I think that Leicester are better than Tottenham. They've won more trophies than Tottenham. Not trophies. They've won more Premier Leagues than Tottenham. They won the FA Cup. They've won the Community Shield. They've won the Premier League. They've finished in the top 6 2 years back to back. They finished in their first season in the Champions League. They finished in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So, Leicester are a good team, and I would pick Leicester over Tottenham to be a top 6 team, because Tottenham are, what's the best word to call them, bro? Bottle jobs.
Bottle jobs, underachievers, very much living up past glories, I would say.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so you wanted to talk about big boy, our new boy, Varane. Let's talk about him. So he was unveiled at Old Trafford last week, just before the Leeds game, which we spoke about in the post-match analysis. And he's been training with United squad for about a week now, which is good. Like, obviously, he's building his fitness up. He's getting used to his teammates being around him. He's getting used to their style of play, their movement, which will help with his positioning in the team. It'll help with his, what he wants to do in games. I don't know if he's going to start this game against Southampton, because it's an away game.
They might give him 45 minutes and see how he gets on.
In all honesty, I want to see him start.
Yeah. He's got to start at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've got 2 away games coming up. We've got Southampton and who's the other team? I can't remember who we're playing after Southampton, bro. I know it's the week after that. It's Aston Villa. I think it's Villa, isn't it?
Yes.
We've got Southampton and then Villa, both away. And then the week after, we've got Newcastle at home. Now, they could save his debut in the squad for Old Trafford. But do you really want to keep him out of the squad just to keep his debut at Old Trafford?
No.
You'd rather him be in the team now than, and then have his Old Trafford debut against Newcastle. I want to see him play against Southampton. I want to see him play against every team in the league. I want to see him consistently being in the starting 11. He's a 4-time La Liga winner. I can't remember how many La Ligas he's won, but he's won the Champions League 4 times. He's won the World Cup once.
All you need to know about Varane is he's been in 14 finals and won 14.
Well, let's not go on about that, bro, because people say that, yeah, he's been in 14 finals and he's won them, but he hasn't won them on his own. Let's be honest. He's won them with obviously he's won one with the French team and he's won the rest of them with Real Madrid, right? So yeah, he's a good player, but the squads that he's been in have been world-class squads, and that's why he's won them.
No, but in terms of an impact player, now do you remember when Van Dijk went to Liverpool? I think this is the impact that Varane's going to have at Man United, because he's literally that type of player. He uses confidence, and you know what? It's going to allow Fred to go forward and score goals. I mean, Fred scoring a goal last week shows that let's be honest, it was a bad day in the office for Leeds, and when Fred scores, you've messed up. I mean, nothing more to say. And then I was enjoying McTominay as well.
I thought McTominay had a really good game against Leeds. He was playing box to box. He was defending. He was getting stuck in the tackles. He was breaking play up again for Leeds' counter attacks. He was getting the ball forward for United. And I think he did brilliantly in that game. And that's why I've always said we don't need a defensive midfielder. We've got Scott McTominay. We've got Fred. They both can do it when they're in the squad. And I think their partnership isn't as good as other teams' defensive partnerships in midfield, but they're up there. They're a good partnership. Yeah. Fred showed his class with his goal against Leeds. Like, Fred doesn't score a lot. Let's be honest. Fred doesn't score that many goals, but when he does, your team's not doing well at all because Fred just scored against you. He's that type of player that he gets involved in those games where the other team aren't doing well, and he just adds to the misery in it, bro. McTominay, I think he needs more time to develop. He needs more first team games, and he'll get them this season in the squad. and I think he'll develop into a better, stronger player in that defensive midfield role. And that's why I've always said we don't need a defensive midfielder. We've got too many midfielders to be buying more midfielders to add to that list. We need to be selling some players in that area to buy more. Because if you're buying more, then that means the ones that you're buying are going to play because they've just been bought into the squad. But the ones that you've currently got are dropping down the ranks and you don't need them. So why not just get rid of them?
I would say they either need to go out on loan, like I know we talked about Pereira the other video.
He's going on, he's going Flamengo in Brazil on loan. Axel Tuanzebe's gone out on loan.
I don't think he played today. I don't think he played today either.
I don't think he played again. No. Yeah, he didn't play today, from what I remember. There's another player going out on loan. There's talk of Amad Diallo going out on loan. I'd rather him not go on loan. I'd rather him be in the first team because I've seen what he can do.
Yeah.
But he needs match experience in the Premier League and he's not going to get as much at United. He'll go into any championship squad, could sign him on loan and he'd do well in the championship, he'll be in the starting 11 for any of those teams. But I think he's going to a Premier League team, isn't he?
Yes.
I don't know which teams are in for him. I think there's Crystal Palace. There's talk of Crystal Palace. There's talk of Sheffield United, I believe. There's another team in there as well.
These are teams that know he'll play for.
Yeah, he'll get into that starting 11. Easy. He's a talented player. He's a talented young lad. And I think he'll do well at United in the future. He's one for the future. Varane's one for now. Diallo is one for the future. Sancho is a now. Palestri is the future. So Solskjaer is not just looking at bringing in players for the now. He's building United up for the future by signing these younger players. And that's what United haven't been doing properly since Fergie left. They've not had the young players. Yes, they've come through the youth team. They've come through the reserves, but they're not bringing in, these fresh talent like Amad Diallo and other players. And that's what Solskjaer is doing. He's bringing in younger players, but he's bought Palestri and he bought Amad Diallo last season, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
And they've not really Palestri's not featured in the first team.
No.
Amad Diallo did play
AC Milan.
I think he played a couple of games in the Premier League.
Yeah, he played against Wolves last game.
And that was just to give him a runabout in the Premier League, to give him that experience. But what I'm trying to say is like Solskjaer is bringing in younger talent that we're not seeing now in the Premier League because they're still young and they need to develop. But we're seeing them being brought into United for the future. Yeah. And that's what I like about Solskjaer, doing that, because Mourinho didn't do it. Van Gaal didn't do it. Who's the other guy? Moyes didn't do it really, did he? Fergie did it all the time. Fergie brought in young talent all the time.
Fergie was good at man management. So
and what Fergie did, he didn't just buy youngsters. He brought them through the ranks from youth to reserves into the first team. Obviously, we know the class of '92, the Beckham, Solskjaer, Beckham, Scholes, Nicky Butt, the Neville brothers,
Ryan Giggs.
That's the biggest class of '92 that United had. From the youth and up to reserves and into the first team. But then you've seen Fergie bring in a lot of talent from the youth. I mean, he's had Macheda. He came in. He went into the first team as well. You had Danny Welbeck. There's other players. Tom Cleverley came through there. Correct. Darren Fletcher came through there. There's other players out there. Is it Matty James? Was it Matty James that was at United? I can't remember. There's a lad that with a surname James. He was there.
Yeah, before he moved on, I think. Yeah, he was there for a brief period. I don't think he really got a chance to shine in the squad.
Exactly. And then you had obviously Tom Heaton, who's just come back to United after leaving and being at other clubs. I think Kieran Richardson.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of players out there. There's a guy, I can't remember his first name, Cathcart. He's from United's reserves and youth. So these players have been brought through into the ranks, but they weren't good enough for the United first team. but they've gone out to other Premier League teams or Championship teams and done well.
Yeah.
And that's what, Fergie did with players. He brought them up, whether they were good enough for United or not. You wouldn't know that until they were in the first team and they had the chance. And we saw some of them come through that weren't good, and we got rid of them. We got rid of Danny Welbeck. We got rid of Tom Cleverley. Darren Fletcher played for us for a long time before he left.
Yeah, sure.
Darren Gibson, he played a couple of seasons, I think, at United before he moved on.
Yeah, he went to Sunderland, yeah.
Tom Heaton, I think he played a couple of games in the first team before he left. So Fergie did it, and Solskjaer's trying to replicate what Fergie did with the team by bringing in the youth, bringing in younger players from other teams, like signing them and putting them into the youth squads and the reserves and making them better, and then bringing them into the first team. And that's what I like about Solskjaer, and that's why I'm still Solskjaering.
I think his ethos mirrors how United have always done things prior to the last couple of years.
He's taken United's DNA and brought it back.
Yeah.
Fergie had the United DNA the way it was for so long. Then you had David Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho come in and change it to the way they wanted to play. But United need to play the United way. Yeah, and Solskjaer knows that because he's been at United. He was a United player. He's a United legend. He helped us win the treble. He's helped us win numerous championships and titles, whatever trophies. And now he's trying to replicate that from his playing career into his management career. We haven't won a trophy with him yet, have we? No, we haven't won a trophy with him. But I think this is the season. We got to a final last season. It was heartbreaking that we didn't win the Europa League final. And I think that's going to motivate the team to go through to a final and win it. And I think this is the season, whether it's a League Cup, an FA Cup, whatever it is, United will win a trophy this season. And like we spoke about this the other day, if Solskjaer doesn't win a trophy this season, he needs to leave United. And move on, and I think he'll be sacked if he doesn't win.
So one thing I'd like to see is I don't want to see him sacked. I want him to put his hand up and say, "Look, I'm moving on," because
he won't do that though, because he's just signed a new 4-year deal. But the board have the option, obviously, at any point to withdraw that contract or cancel it, whatever, release him from it. And I think if we get to this point next season and we haven't won a trophy,
then I think it's time for a change.
He's going to leave, and people are saying Zidane's going to come in and whatever. But obviously, the speculation is that Zidane's waiting to come to United after leaving Real Madrid again. Who knows? I mean, I would like to see Zidane at United, but the thing is with Zidane, he did well at Real Madrid because he had a quality squad. He had, he had Cristiano Ronaldo, he had Benzema. He had Varane, he had Bale, he had a galactical squad, man. And if you were a manager at Real Madrid and you had that type of squad and you didn't do well, then there's something wrong with you.
No, and I think that comes down to the consistency. So we mentioned it before we went on there, that they need to be consistent and how it's done. So tomorrow's game will be or today's game will be interesting to see.
Yeah, United need to be more consistent.
Carry on the momentum, and if they can be consistent, as has been saying.
That's it. United need to be more consistent. That's the only way I can put it. Is they need to be more consistent to win. No, so the way United are, they will go out and draw games or lose games that they should be winning, and they're losing points. And that's why we were left so far behind City last season, is because we didn't have the killer instinct. We didn't finish games off. We let teams back into games and lose games. And we can't do that this season.
No.
And I don't think we will now that we've got a signing like Varane. I think he will, not on his own, but obviously with the other players, they'll win more games this season than they did last season. They'll shut out other teams more this season. With the defense that we have now, the other players, the attacking players, will be more confident to go forward and score them goals,
so not worry
because
about
you've got Varane, and that's mainly because Varane's there now, and he's a world-class defender. I don't think he's one of the. I don't think he's the best defender in the world, right? But he's one of the top defenders in the world, in world football. If you disagree with me, disagree with me. Leave your comment. Let me know that you disagree with me. And tell me why. Don't just say you disagree with me just for saying it. Tell me why you think that I'm wrong in saying that.
Yeah,
I want to see, I want to see what people think about that, because I think Varane is one of the top defenders in the world. So is Maguire, and I think they are gonna work together, and I think they're just gonna make each other better, and that's gonna be a partnership that will help United forward, just like Rio Ferdinand and Vidic did. Now, I'm not comparing the Rio Ferdinand and Vidic partnership to Maguire and Varane, because you can't do that. That partnership will never be replicated. That was one of the best defensive partnerships in the world. I'm not saying in the Premier League, in the world, period. You argue with me about that as well if you want.
Yeah.
Well, look at the stats. The stats prove that Rio and Vidic were one of the best partnerships in world football.
Without doubt, that was the main reason why they ended up winning the Champions League in 2008. And
exactly, bro. And the Premier League so many times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Because the attackers had the confidence in the defense to do their job, and that's what they did. Now, before we move on, before we wrap up and finish, got one last little section, bro. Predictions. So I'm going to let you throw your predictions for this. So what I want to ask you, bro, is a couple of different questions for your predictions, right? So A, will Man United win? B, what do you think the score will be? You could even predict the goal scorers if you want. And one little thing that I want you to try and predict now. I know it's still early in the season, but I'm going to do it in 2 parts. By Christmas and by the end of the season, where do you think United are going to be in the table?
Well, going on to your first point, tomorrow will United win? I would say yes, they will.
Okay.
Southampton will make it easy. Score line, I'm going to say, let's have a look. I would say 2-1 Man United.
Okay.
And if you want goal scorers, I'm going to go Fernandez, and I'm actually going to put the other goal scorer down as McTominay. I think he'll get a chance.
Nice.
Someone different. Then what was the other part of the question?
But at Christmas, so the end of this year and at the end of the season, where do you think United will be?
So I think United probably finish decided Christmas probably second or third, depending on how they get on in the tough mid-November games.
Yes.
And then towards the end of the season, probably, I don't know, I'd like to see us probably be by April within a running chance of actually winning.
Contending for the league, I get that.
Whether that happens or not is different, but we need to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. You're right, definitely, bro. So I'll answer the same questions. Do I think United will win? Yes, 100% United will win. That's, they need, like I said, they need to be consistent. And this game is a continuation of the unbeaten run to me. United have gone, is it 30-something games unbeaten last season? All season last season, 38?
Yeah.
So, away, sorry. So they didn't lose an away game last season at all. And that needs to continue this season, as well as the home form needs to improve as well.
They are literally, I think, 1 or 2 games
away from Arsenal's Invincibles. Yeah. Yes. I think it's the game against Southampton, the game against Aston Villa, and then the game in September. I don't know who it is after Newcastle. But those 3 games, I think if they do that, they will beat Newcastle's, Arsenal's away form record from the Invincible season back in 2004.
Yeah.
Do I think United will win? Yes. Scoreline, I'm going with 3-1. Don't even know. I'm thinking 3-1, 3-2. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Southampton will give us a good game, especially being at home. And it also depends on Varane.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is because Varane will change the way the defense is. It'll change the way the team plays.
Yeah.
So I think if Varane plays, it'll be maybe 2-0, 3-0 for United. If Varane doesn't play the full game, it may be 3-2 The 3 goals for United, I'm going with Pogba to finally get on the score sheet instead of just the assist list. So Pogba, Mason Greenwood, and probably Sancho to score his debut goal for United.
Not bad.
In the league by Christmas, I'd say we're going to be top. I think that will depend on the results in November because we've got to play City, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Is it all, and Liverpool, all
Correct,
4 in 1 month, and two of them games are actually back to back. So that's where your squad rotation needs to come in around that time, especially around Christmas and New Year when you have more games. End of season, I want to see United win the league. I'm a United fan. I want to see United win the league. It's going to be a tough season. If we stay injury free, if we continue the form that I know we can be at the top by the end of the season. Will we win it? I'm hoping we will, but that does depend on other teams' forms like City. Liverpool are back to full strength with Van Dijk back.
Yeah.
City are a good team. Chelsea under Tuchel are a good team. I don't think there's anybody else that can contend for the title besides Chelsea. So it's Chelsea, United, City, and Liverpool. It's going to be a 4-team race right now. By the end of the season, or towards the end of the season, I think it'll be left to 2 teams. It'll be United and another team. The other team, I've got a feeling it's going to be Chelsea. Under Tuchel, they are really good. And he showed that he came in January, didn't make any signings, and won the Champions League with them.
At its best.
Yeah, so that shows that he is a good manager and he can do he can do it. So I think Chelsea, United will finish first, second. I can't say who right now, but those are my predictions. But if you ask me, United top, Chelsea second, City will finish third, Liverpool will finish fourth, Tottenham will probably finish 7th, Arsenal will probably finish 10th, Leicester will finish 5th. I think they will finish top 6 again, 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and going back to that, I think it's just a case of seeing how they line up and
yeah, man, definitely
the consistency, especially with Man City and especially with Liverpool having Van Dijk back.
Yeah,
they might not have signed anyone, but it's almost like a new signing with him coming back.
100%. Van Dijk, fresh. He's one of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah,
and you can't argue that. I'm a United fan, and and you're a United fan, but we both agree with that statement that Van Dijk is one of the best defenders in the world. When he's fit and when he's fully in form, he is one of the best in the world. And Liverpool with him, like United now with Varane, have the confidence to go forward when you have a player like that in your team. And anybody would. If you have a player like Van Dijk, Varane, Maguire, these type of players, your attackers are going to have the confidence to go forward, knowing that they've got a defense that are going to do their job.
Exactly. And not worry about conceding goals because they're good enough to score them.
Exactly, bro. So it depends who's going to stay injury-free longer, bro. And that's what it's going to be down to, injury-free and form. I think Liverpool, I think they could stay injury-free. Van Dijk's just come back. I don't rate Firmino. I don't really like him. Mo Salah, I think he's a good player. Mane, I've always said he's just got pace. I think Liverpool may need to sign some players if they want to contend for the title this season.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see the run-in of the transfer window. I know the loan window is separate, but it'd be interesting to see if they can bring in someone before the window shuts.
Yeah, man. How many days are left on this window? About 9?
Yeah, about 9. We're coming to the end of the...
We're on 22nd, so 31st it finishes, so you've got 9 days. Now, I want to speak on it. Like I said, Chelsea and United are going to be top 2 by the end of the season, I say. And the reason I'm saying Chelsea is Lukaku. Now, he's admitted it himself. When he was at United, he was overweight. Now, I've read somewhere, I can't remember where it was now, but he's come out and said when he went to Inter, they found that he had a problem.
Yeah,
he had a stomach problem, which was keeping him overweight. And the United doctors didn't find that, and that's why he was overweight. But the Inter doctors found it, they cured it, and now he's lost weight. He's
in the best shape of his
that's
life.
it. He's in one of the best shapes of his career, and I think being at Chelsea as well, he's going to do well at Chelsea this time round. And I've always said this: Solskjaer should not have sold Lukaku, because I always rated him as a top striker. And the only problem we had with him at United is, he was overweight. If we could have, fixed that problem, we could have had. We wouldn't have needed Cavani at this stage. We would have still had Lukaku, and he would have been in top form for us by now. So I think Solskjaer made a mistake in selling him, because I've always rated Lukaku, even when he wasn't at United, even when he was at Chelsea and other clubs, I've always rated him.
No, and that's one of the things that'll be interesting to see how he gets on tomorrow against Arsenal with his first game in the Premier League after a couple of years.
Yeah.
But we'll only find out tomorrow, so stay tuned, because we'll cover more content on that.
Yeah, definitely, people. So stay tuned for more content here on the Finished Article and over on Twitch on the Finished Article channel there. Like I said, subscribe here on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. We've got an exclusive show on Twitch, which is Fight Night, where we talk about boxing and MMA. The second episode of that was uploaded today for 8 p.m. I believe it was, 7:45, 8 p.m. premiered. So tune into that. We had a special guest, which was my brother. We had a good debate about things. We talked about a lot of things for the hour, and it was a good show. So go check that out. But for now, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Leave us some love down there in the comment section and on the like. Like I said before, hit the like button on the videos that you've liked, so we know what type of content you like, so we can continue to bring you that type of content. The official Facebook and Twitter of the channel are scrolling across the bottom. So hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter if you want to get in touch with us. And in regards to fantasy football,
there's a league set up.
There you go.
So as Shaz has mentioned there, that in order for those to win the monthly prizes, you do need to be subscribed to the channel. So if you're not, unfortunately, and you're on top of the league, then prizes you will be excluded from. As harsh as it sounds, it's to try and encourage people to tune in, and we want to make this a fair race for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So find the code below. Definitely, you join. We're on. I believe we're on now 17
in the league.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Which is great to see it expanding. But yes, guys, please subscribe, show us some love, and we look forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah. So like you said, you do need to be subscribed to the channel here on YouTube or on Twitch. I'll take either, as long as you're subscribed to the channel. And if you're at the top of the league at the end of the month, you'll get a prize. If you're at the top and you're not subscribed, you won't get the prize, and no one will get the prize that month. I'm not going to give it to someone second or third or whatever, whoever's subscribed. You need to be top. You need to be subscribed to the channel to get a prize. End of the season, same thing. You need to be subscribed to the channel. And if you're at the top of the league at the end of the season, you'll get the prize as long as you are subscribed to either Twitch or YouTube. But yeah, we are going to cut this off. We're going to end this show here. My name's Shazad. This guy's name's Shazad. This is the Finished Article. This is Fergie time. And we're back again soon with another episode.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.